backwards to me.
It's not.
No.
It's backwards. It looks backwards, but it's actually not. It actually
So
Oh, is
weird
mine
to, like,
backwards?
see,
No.
right,
Well,
but it
this
looks
is
backward to you, right?
You might have your mirror, like
No,
you
mine looks
mirror your
forwards to me.
image.
this
Well,
is a
I will
perfect
say the
Brady bunch.
conversation is riveting so
As
far.
long as it,
I was gonna say this is a
John,
perfect
yours
Brady
is
bunch.
backwards.
Let me do some introductions here at least, since I'm in the very top square here. But Kelly is over here. She's the writer, producer, coordinator of everything. Goddess of this world, Daruma. And then we've got Alex over here, the Zeus of it all, bringing the light and the camera, and he's done a fantastic job, as you guys have seen. And below me, the beautiful Abigail Hawk from Blue Bloods. She is an incredible love interest in the film. And do I get the girl? I don't know. She hasn't arrived yet. And we've got down there John Lawson, who is my co-star and co-pilot throughout the journey. And we've got Peter here, Peter Farrelly, whom really needs to be seen in this world because he's trying to do some incredible things, as we're all big fans. And thank you so much, Peter, for coming on board.
Appreciate
And
it, Toby.
we got Chris Titus, my man, the
What's up, man?
best fellow I've ever met, and who really gave me a big start in all of this idea of being included in films by casting me in special unit. And he was committed to inclusion in his film from the start. I know he and Peter have a little bit of past with that as well. So,
Mr.
and
Fairley,
got Gabe here as well, who is our ASL interpreter. Gabe, thank you so much for being our words.
so great. We're all here. I'm glad I get to even be part of it. Tobias Force, probably one of the best actors I've worked with, and was an amazing in our film. Mr. Farrelly, who actually gave me notes on the film that made the film better and made me feel dumber, which is great. I appreciate that. And to everybody else, I've looked at the trailer and I've looked at the posters, and I looked at your mission statement, and anybody who's going to take people with disabilities into film and treat them not with the disability, to not make Tobias the sage guy in the wheelchair that solves everybody's problems, that's got the insight to give him a problem and then have some able-bodied person solve it. Anybody who's got the balls to do that, Peter always has in all of his movies, and that he's dealt with disabilities, and to see this one again is great. So let's talk about it. Tobias, what was your experience like being on it? And when you read the script first, because I want to know what was it like to read the script and realize, oh wait, they're not talking about that I'm in a wheelchair.
For me, I read the script, and as you know, Titus, I have physical limitations as a quadriplegic. So I looked at it and said, oh, there's 1,000 things I can't do. I don't know that I should even audition for this. But John was just insistent. It was his audition in the first place. I was just being his reader. He turned the page around on me and said, I don't care if you don't know the words. I don't care if you think you can't do what this character can do. Let them decide. And he did that. And I wouldn't be here without John Lawson. So kudos to you. But the script is amazing. Kelly put something together that wasn't focused on disability or ability. It was focused on the heart and characters and the soul of what we all want in a story. And that's something that you can relate to. And anybody can relate to this, regardless of having a disability. And so that's what drew me in. What was sort of daunting was the idea that we had to film this in 3 weeks. I was in every single scene.
Wow.
They were 10, 12-hour days. It takes me 3 hours to get up in the morning just before I even take a road trip, and then to have little tiny moments of trying to bring truth of this story that Kelly wrote to the screen in between all of that chaos, right, of a long day and doing all of these things. That had me concerned too, because I knew it was her passion project, their baby and it was going to cost money. And I didn't want to risk somebody else's dream just so that I could star in a movie and have my own dream fulfilled. But thanks to John and Alex and Kelly, they all rallied and said, no, Toby, you're the guy. It's not about what you can and can't do. It's about what you can and can't feel. And they convinced me to do this film, and I wouldn't be here without them. And I wouldn't have had that experience without you, Titus, giving me the confidence of a role and being trusted as an actor in your film. And that develops my confidence and my experience. And thanks to them and you and Peter, we get to be here today.
I love that you're the only one that seems to be worried about your disability. That's amazing to me. Kelly, what were you thinking about when you attacked this? I mean, what first of all, what inspired it? Did it just come out of your head? Is there when I write scripts, it's always something kicks it off. What made you go as hard on the movie, because the movie's a great story. In fact, I think one of Tobias's character in the movie, one of his biggest disabilities is he's kind of a raging asshole. Like that's probably his biggest disability. So tell me when you sat down to put this out, because you have to. I know at beginning to end of story, your intention when you started to write. What was your intention when you started to write this?
Okay, so most people don't really think about disability until it impacts them personally. And my first real interaction with disability, I grew up signing. I learned ASL as a kid. That was never othering to me. So that was something that was kind of natural, within my own world. But then in the early 2000s, a close family member of mine had a spinal cord injury. And I witnessed firsthand just how everything changed. And suddenly the world that was open became completely inaccessible. I started to paying attention to the narratives in media, and the things that were out at the time were films that said basically, you should be dead instead of having a disability. That's more preferable. But the thing that I noticed with my relative, and I purposely leave them out of the conversation because it's not based on a true story, and I'm being respectful. They're very private. But the thing that I noticed was that life went on, they went to school, they had relationships, emotional journeys, all kinds of things. And I'm like, why aren't we telling those kinds of stories? Like, why does it have to be about getting an injury and then getting over that? Because life goes on. I mean, look at the amazing, incredible lives that Toby and John lead with their families and their, they're all of the things that they're pursuing. And I love them dearly. For me, the most amazing part of this entire process has been getting to build this little film family of ours between Abigail and John and Toby and Alex and everyone that's been on board. I mean, John and I text probably more than Alex and I do, and when I'm married to Alex. But seriously, having these relationships and these friendships is just so important to me. And I think that's really translated not only in the screen, but in the rollout of this film, because statistically speaking, a film like this really shouldn't get the attention it's getting. But look at what we're doing, and all of you coming together and really rallying and making this happen. Like, that's my dream. I'm actually living my dream right now. And I'm like getting so emotional because it means so much to me. And so anyways, thank you all. I'm going to shut up.
Kelly, if I could jump in, the reason the movie's getting so much attention isn't because of us doing anything. It's because it's a damn good movie. I went to that movie because I'm friends with Toby and John, and I wanted to support them. But I came out of there like tickled because it wasn't about, I thought it would be about disability. It's not about disability. It's about people. It's about what's in them, who they are, their lives. And the disability part is a nothing part. It's very minor in the story, and I have never seen that. And it was a great story. And by the way, first of all, Toby and John killed. They were excellent. Abigail, everybody was great, but the little girl, Victoria Scott, is it?
She just joined. She just popped on. I was worried.
She was so good. I mean, she was a superstar, which held it all together, because that to me, when I walked out of there, I was like, wow, this movie has got to be seen by everybody, because it's a story, not because it's about disability.
Right. Agreed.
Victoria, turn your camera on. We want to see you.
I haven't seen you in like 2 years, honey.
Alexander,
there she is.
There you are. Hey, you're awesome in the movie, kid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're all awesome, by the way. Alexander, directing this movie, when you, because you know, say what you will, when we did Special Unit, there are challenges, you know. And in fact, we actually got rid of, there was someone on the cast, there was some people that had, there was people that were in the crew that had like weird issues. Remember that, Toby? There was a couple people that had some weird issues. And so we just kind of ate what challenges. I approached it like no challenges. They're just actors. That's what I approached it as. And you have to do that or else it gets weird. How did you approach directing this?
I mean, very much the same way. And I think Peter said it also is this, you know, I never read this script and was like, oh, it's a disability movie. I was like, oh, it's a road trip movie. It's a father-daughter movie. It's a friendship movie. And, I wasn't looking for, it wasn't like, oh, let's go out and find find disabled actors. Like, let's find actors who look like the characters in the script, and they were specifically written with the specific disabilities. But it's not just, hey, let's cast a guy in a chair and let's cast an amputee. There was a real casting process, and John and Toby blew us away. Like, they were the guys. You look for when you cast a movie, and this goes for everybody. It includes in Abigail, Victoria, and the whole cast is you're looking for not, you don't want to sit there and think, wow, their acting is really good. You want to forget their acting entirely. You want to sit there and be moved, feel something, and that's what those guys did. Very much the same way on set. I never, it's not like I ever had to talk to them about disability. Like, that's their lived experience that they're bringing to the set. I just had to talk to them about what's going on in this scene. Where do I need you to look? This is, what are you trying to get out of your scene partner? What's your goal? You're trying to get him to drive you across the country. You're just trying to get, your daughter to chill, or you're trying to get your dad to buy you some cereal. Like, it's simple, and and it's universal. And that's the stuff that, appealed to me. Was it's a story I could connect with. It's emotions I could connect with. And it's really just about trying to translate that to the audience and hoping that, just like me, they forget about, they're not watching acting. They're not looking and seeing, oh, it's guys with disabilities. They're thinking, wow, I'm really invested in the story and the performances and the characters. And to your question about, challenges, with crew or logistics, we really addressed a lot of that in development. Like, we spent so much time talking to John and Toby, and also other people in the community, about how to make a set accessible and inclusive, that we didn't encounter. Certainly no problems with crew. Our crew, I knew a lot of them from before, and even the folks I didn't, they bought in right away. They were on board, and at the beginning, and by the end, they were family.
Also, on a side note, I put Alex. Alex is a great director. I mean, this is a guy who can make a dollar holler and make everything look great. And I put him to work. I mean, he's transferring me in and out of everything. I'm continuing to break his back. When we go to events, I'm like, do this for me. Hey, do that. You're already well trained by this point. So, but he's just one of those guys that gets in there, gets the job done no matter what, and treats everybody with profound respect. And it was just a delightful set, and we got it all done, and it was a well-oiled machine.
I like to say Alex communicates as a director in a way that facilitates pulling the performance that you want as an actor to come through the lens. And it was, the only thing he had to keep reminding me was, okay, hold the top of the steering wheel. I want to see your hooks driving, and I'm going, oh yeah, I forget. It was, but we were driving, and so it's like, put your hooks up there, because I usually drive from the side.
I love that he's making you drive disabled. You're driving like the rest of us, holding the bottom of the switch. No. Yeah. We need to see the hooks. It's not about disability. Make sure the disability's on camera. That's
exactly. Awesome. 10 and 2.
10 and 2. 10 and 2.
I get so used to hiding them, to make more people comfortable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was great. And he gave just such a generosity of spirit and creativity that led everyone on set. And that made it really a great set to work on.
Well, this movie's going to do is what Special Unit did, which is it announced to people, wow, there are a lot of good actors in that world that you wouldn't have seen. And that's one of the things I always talk to when I talk to casting directors. I say, if it says the girlfriend comes in the room, that doesn't mean she's necessarily white, black, Asian. Like, see everybody, and it doesn't mean that they're able-bodied. They could have all sorts of disabilities, and that could be the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the thing. You got to open your brain to that, and this movie does that because you're gonna like John and Toby are so damn good in this thing that people, and it's not about the disability, that people are going to say, oh yeah, I'd put them in this or that, and it doesn't have to be about a disability movie. And that's, by the way, what you did with Special Unit. Like, you really cast that well. That was, I was laughing my ass off at that thing. That was really good.
That's nice of you to say. Hey, John, you just said something, trying to make people comfortable. Was it interesting to be working with Toby, another disabled actor, and not have to think about that ever once you got into it?
Yeah, actually, Toby and I have known each other for quite a long time, and we read for each other in scripts. And as he said, my agent sent me this, called me and goes, I just saw a breakdown for a double hand amputee. Do you want me to submit you? And I'm going, hell yeah, I've been in this for 30 years. I've never seen that before. Please submit me.
Do you want me to submit you? Agents are hilarious.
So Toby and I live close to each other. So I drove over and got him to read for me. And I go, you should read for the guy in the wheelchair. And as he explained, I'm a quad, it's a para. They want me to do things I can't do. And I go, let them say no. But I don't have the words. I go, just read the opposite of what you read for me. So we literally turned the camera around. I held the script up on my forehead so he could read it. And so when we got to do the callback, we went in and said, can we do the callback together? And going back, I mean, first of all, it's a good story. And I like to say my character, Robert, has cage rage. There's always at least one scene in a Nicolas Cage movie where he gets the rage. And that's what I got. So in the callback, there was one where I got to do the cage rage. And then there was one where we had to be friends. And I think Toby and my friendship, our natural friendship that we've had for so many years, actually came through the scene. And that's why they cast us. And that was 7 years ago when we did the proof of concept, and they stuck with us, and it really has made a difference.
Just so you know, that just because of your friends doesn't always translate. You have to be a really good actor to make that, to bring that. Some people can do it like off screen, they're friends and that energy's there, but they get on screen and it goes away. That you guys still have it. That's you guys being good actors. That's what that is.
Well, thank you. But we have each other's back. We looked out for each other on the set, and it was a good time to get to work together. That's my biggest take from this, is although we've done little scenes and reading for each other, but get to work right next to my best friend for 3 weeks was the best part of all of this.
I'm going to pull Victoria into this. Victoria, how fun was it working with those two guys?
Really, really fun.
I bet.
She is incredible. She's a one-take wonder. And I mean, when you guys watch the film, she's so genuine and she's so giving. And this was I don't really ever let a kid drive my wheelchair around, especially if I'm not in it, because I'm going to drive that thing into a pool. I wouldn't trust me. Yeah. But her, in a second, I would have trusted her to drive the car over John. You know what I'm saying? But because she's just so good, she's talented to that. And she's just, Victoria, between takes, it was just so pleasant because you're such a nice, genuine person.
Thank you.
Whenever it was time to bring her out, I would just be like, bring me the child. They would bring her out and she would do her thing and go back to school.
I was really impressed because when we would be sitting around talking, they'd be setting up the scene and everything. And as soon as somebody'd say, picture up, she was ready and always right on line, never missed a line, never missed a cue. And that was very impressive to me because Toby and I missed quite a few.
Abigail, your mic's off.
And now it's on.
There you go.
There you go. How did you, Abigail? How did you? You kind of I mean, I saw the trailer, so you're kind of harsh in the movie. You did what do you? Yeah, and I remember we special unit all the characters, made all the characters real people. They didn't over care for each other, because I think that a lot of people forget that anybody with a disability is just a human being. They are angry, they are happy, they are sad, they're assholes. And when
Most
you're
of them are assholes.
Thank you. I was waiting for Peter Peter's got so much more going on.
I know a lot. Believe me.
They're not canceling Peter. If they haven't canceled Peter yet, they're not canceling Peter. What did you ever have any moment? Because I remember my character was such an a-hole in special unit to these guys. There were some moments where I had to push through it. Did you have to do that with working with these guys?
Well, no, because I also am an asshole.
There you go. Thank you.
There was just it was all ego driven, the whole film. Everybody's just a big a-hole. I'm saying that because I'm looking at Victoria, so I'm hearing myself. Victoria, it's so good to see you. Look how much you've grown up. My goodness. So good.
Correct them, Victoria. What's it? It's called a poo-poo head, right?
A poo-poo head. Yes.
Poo-poo head.
Sorry for the swearing, Victoria.
I mean, honestly, it was such a joy to be on the set. I mean, it was right in the middle of COVID and doing it, in such an intense time for everyone. It was really it brought so much light into my life, and it was such a wonderful stretch for me to get to play this character that is, clearly very different from who I am. I'm an over gesticulator, as I move my arms. But it just, we had such a wonderful time, and it was very freeing. And, I mean, again, I'm just happy to be here. So I'm just hanging out with friends, and I'm having the time of my life. And this film is just incredible. It's an incredible journey.
Victoria.
Modest, really quick. I want to give a shout out to Abigail, because we spent a number of, the way we put this film together was through a mix of, grants, fundraising, our own money. I mean, it was an intense process, and everything really hinged on a knife edge. And, we lost everything in 2020, and we had to cobble it back together again. But we did a small fundraiser for the seed money for the film. And Alex and I are complete masochists, because we planned our wedding and then we went directly into doing the fundraising for this as well. But we were on our last day of fundraising, and this was one of those platforms where if you didn't hit an 80% goal, you lost everything that you had done. And Abby and Alex had worked together on a number of films. They'd never really connected. I mean, they were friends, but they hadn't really connected on like a very personal level. But something about our fundraising appealed to Abigail, and she later explained what drew her into the projects. And she made a contribution that tipped us over the edge. So without her realizing the value in this, without us even having to sell her on the project. And then, of course, when she auditioned for the role, we were like, oh my God, she's Anna. 100%. She's Anna. So it all was one of those things where it was just meant to be. Like, that role was always meant to be. You were always meant to come in as an associate producer. And we love you. We love you so much.
And it's pay to play acting too, which is great. You actually,
like I said,
that's where we're at. That's where we're at now in show business. So thanks, Abigail.
God, isn't that the truth?
I will say, in her defense, she argued hard against herself. She advocated for casting a wider net, and we honored her wish, and then came back and said, look, we really think you're the right person for this. We'd really like you to do it if you're willing. And, we had to drag her in a little bit, but, I'm really glad she said yes.
Well, I had to get her back to the airport on time so she could make her call time for Blue Bloods.
Okay, John, you will literally never not story publicly. Like, yes, we all know that you got me to the airport on time, arriving at 6 o'clock, not 10 and 2. Like, we all understand.
Right.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
What was Titus? I was wondering, because I know you had a question for Victoria, because I'm kind of wondering what my daughter's been up to.
What have you been up to, kid? What did you love about acting with these guys? Tell me a little story about acting with him. Tell me the goofiest story about Tobias, because I have about 6 of them. You got any weird stories about him? Because hanging out with him is things happen.
Well, I like the part when we like threw the toilet paper.
You did the
She trashed my house, like literally. She threw a roll of toilet paper, and hit me directly in the head, which was perfect aim, perfect timing.
You can't really hurt him. He did that to himself. You're good, Victoria.
It's not getting any worse.
Did you love acting with these guys? Did you like acting with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
All right, that's a dumb question of mine. Then I apologize for being a dumb question. Alexander, what the process? How involved were you in the writing process, or did you just take Kelly's script and just go from there?
We did some rewriting. So she handed me a script that I don't think she'd looked at. You know, she hadn't gone back to it in a couple of years. And
a lot of Nixon references and stuff in it.
Do I look that old? I'm just saying. I know I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm just being funny. No, you do not. I love that you took that on instantly. Do I look that old? I look at myself in the picture. I actually do, but go ahead.
That's right. And she's funny. That was also very much at the soul of the script. She didn't think it was funny. I thought it was hysterical. You know, you got these two guys jawing at each other, and I thought, wow, this really captures something about how the way sort of, you know, this really captures a contentious male relationship where two guys are kind of stuck with each other, but they're going to snipe. And, you know, she was very insistent that it was a drama. I was like, no, it's a dark comedy. Like, we should be laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the what I will share is that the original script had a slightly more saccharine ending. And, you know, I wanted something that was felt a little edgier, a little more real. And so we reworked some things. Like the script, the story is the story. It's the same journey. The core relationships are the same, but we massaged it. And then once we were committed to working with John and Toby, we did another pass on the script to really tailor it to those two actors and their sort of specific physicalities and their relationship. So it sort of felt more authentic to who they are. And they helped us out with that also.
Peter, do you think that when you if you try to go for the treacle, if you try to go for, because I remember I went too far the other way. And I think you pulled me back a little bit when you gave me notes on Special Unit, but if laughter buys you a lot, if you just go for dark, if you just go for sappy, it doesn't work. But if you go for funny buys you that moment where you get to punch someone in the heart and just break their heart.
Well, I've always felt that, and if anything, I have a tendency to get too sappy. Like, you know, you'll never see the Coen brothers get sappy. They don't come close to it, whereas we do. And it's because I remember, you know, growing up, like when I was young, we loved the Zucker brothers, those, you know, and Jim Abrams, and they were the best. You know, the Airplane, Naked Gun, Top Secret, all those movies. And we love what they did. But I do remember thinking at that time, I thought, imagine if you're watching Airplane and you actually care about those people, because, you know, it's so broad that you really don't care. You don't think that plane's going to crash. You have zero concern for their lives and all that stuff. I said, what if you did care a little? What if there was a little bit part of you that cared, not just all silliness? And that's what we've always tried to do, starting with Dumb and Dumber, which was, you know, we had that one moment early in the movie where, you know, Jim Carrey's trying to convince Jeff Daniels to go, you know, Lloyd's trying to convince Harry to go out to Aspen, and he said, no, I'm not going. And then Jim does it completely real. He goes, come on, man, I don't have anybody, you know, I don't have anything. And it's just a real moment, and it gets you a lot. It gets you a lot because you realize these are real people. They're not just these broad characters that, you know, otherwise they're just cartoons. And just give them a little humanity. I always got to, and I remember the studio called us a couple of days later and said, what are you doing? What is that scene? I said, what? And they go, there's some comedy. We'll cut that. I was like, hey, can I remind you, in 2 minutes, he's selling a dead bird to a blind kid in a wheelchair.
Give me 30 seconds to land a character. That's
yeah,
right.
You better like him.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I do that. But I've gone overboard, and I know that this didn't. By the way, that's the beauty of your movie. Daruma did not do that. It came right to the edge, but it never went over. And I think and that was one of the beauties of it. Like, you kept it real. And but yeah, it's very important for me to have some heart. But yes, I'm careful about not going too much because people resist that.
I had to
But Kelly,
fight to get Kelly to leave in the one hook joke.
You did not fight me, and don't ruin it for people. But I was very worried that it was being a little too sensitive, and you were like, I want it in, so we left it in, and it works. But I'm not going to spoil it for people. I do want to say that we are butting up against our half-hour mark, and we promised we'd let everybody go at the half-hour mark. So if there's no other Q&As, Titus, I mean, you're hosting this. You're coming.
I just wanted to ask you, Kelly. I just wanted to say that it is the hardest thing to do what Peter just said. It's hardest to walk up to that line and know where the line is. And that's really a testament to your writing. And I believe everything starts with the writing. You need great performances, but everything starts with the writing. And in this genre of movie where you're using disabled actors, it's very, very easy to cross over. And I'm sure, and I know Toby and John has seen a lot of scripts where they're like, I don't even want to do this. I'm the weenie disabled guy. I don't want to do that. So just kudos to you for really just nailing that.
Well, Kelly, would you tell us about the award that you just won, please?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, John. Okay. So I just won an award from Slam Dance. They have put together a film awards ceremony called the Indie Awards. The inaugural Indie Awards are taking place December 9th. At the DGA, and I won an award for my work on the film, and I've never won anything like this before, so yay.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
I want to just take a moment to commend the three of you guys as directors, because as John and I know, over 20% of the population identifies as having a disability, but less than 2% of the media shows it, and that's often misrepresented. And you guys have all made a commitment to authentic representation, and not only have you done that, but you've made people more able-bodied. And in this film, through Alex's work, he's able to make me a more able-bodied character than ever I would have been. And Titus did the same exact thing for me. I can barely hold a gun, but in his movie, I'm shooting people and we're taking care of business. And Peter, you, my mentor, Danny Murphy, you paved the way and paved the path in Hollywood with him by casting him in able-bodied roles and not even mentioning that he had a disability. And kudos to all three of you guys, and to Kelly for writing this incredible script and for the opportunity to share this with the world. So you guys are really fundamental in changing the perspectives of Hollywood. Thank you.
Well, I haven't given Alexander enough credit, because it is such a great script. I was talking about Kelly, and I do believe in the script, but man, Alexander, you kept that thing right on the line the whole time, and you made it. You brought it right back. And thank you, Abigail, for saving this movie, because that would have been a tragedy if this didn't happen. This movie is special. It's going to change people's perceptions and open minds into how to cast a movie.
I think that is, I don't want to end on another note than that, because that is just amazing. We are going to award 5 of our swag bags. I just wanted to thank our sponsors. One of the things that we wanted to prove with this film was that there was a market, and this market controls over $500 billion in discretionary spending annually. And why studios and platforms are not catering to them, I don't know, but we have partnered with a number of brand sponsors who see the value in this. So Alex and I are going to draw 5 names out of the bowl as promised. We're going to send each one of the winners one of our swag bags. This is terrible. This is really black. But our sponsors include Opalescence Go, Neuro Energy Gum, Rainwater, La Roche Posay, Natural bath. We have these amazing survival kits from Lone Wolf. We have Cards Against Humanity. They gave us the popcorn edition of that. We have Prospector Popcorn, which is actually run and employed by disabled persons. We have a gift card from Slick Chicks, which is also another PWD company. We have For Bitter or Worse cocktails. That is also a PWD business. And then we have
as is Neuro Gum. As is Neuro Gum.
As is Neuro Gum. That's right. Neuro
Yes.
Gum is also run by Ryan Chen, who is a spinal cord injury survivor. So all of these brands have been supporting us, and I wanted to thank them for doing this. So Alex, you're going to draw the first name. It doesn't matter if these people are not on the Zoom. We will send you your bag, but we're going to draw 3. Then we're going to go right into the trailer. If you have time for a little bit of a Q&A, we're going to take 2 questions from the audience. If you guys have to jet, I totally get it. But Alex, do the drawing.
Okay, the first name. I'm going to mispronounce this terribly. Teresa Direx?
Dero? Is it French?
Dero.
Dero.
Yeah.
Wait.
If it appears, yep.
Okay.
Shannon's mom.
Yes.
That's Shannon's mom. I know her. Yeah, cool.
Okay. The next,
Teresa Direx, congratulations.
Leslie Lawson.
Oh wow.
Is that your daughter-in-law?
That's my daughter-in-law.
There was no favoritism in this at
Does
all.
that disqualify her? I don't know, Josh.
This whole thing is rigged.
I didn't.
If it says Christopher Titus, we'll know.
Yeah, I'm out.
All right, number 3. Kristen Birkelbach.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know her.
Neither do I.
And nobody knows her. One.
Fake name.
Pamela Brumley. Okay. And,
All right,
one more.
and-
We have one more.
One more.
Last but not least, Alicia Tate.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations to everybody.
We will be sending you your gift bags in the coming weeks. But if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and launch into the trailer. So I'm going to share my screen, and I hope that I do this right.
May I say one last thing before you put that on? Chris Titus, thank you so much.
Yes.
You're a good man.
Oh, come on, man. You get deep into this.
And you're the Dick Clark of comedians. You never change. You look exactly the way you looked when I saw you 25 years ago. You're holding up extremely well. But thank you for being such a good guy. You really making a difference.
Thank you for hosting us. Yeah, I appreciate that. I haven't seen you since Toby and I saw you tape your Netflix special. So
thanks for that, guys.
And you do look the same.
Yeah. Man, it's all right. I got a filter. By the way, this is a shot through 2 layers of pantyhose. We're good. I can't wait to see the trailer again.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, can everybody see that screen?
Yep.
Okay, let's go to full screen, and here we go.
Hey, that's my dad's watch.
And now it's mine.
What the hell is wrong with you? Mind your own damn business. You're gonna pay for my car. You can believe whatever you want.
I'm sorry, but I can't give you an advance on your disability payment.
You're gonna have to press enter and give me the money I need.
I'm gonna enter you behind out this door.
Are you familiar with a woman named Heather Parks?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Miss Parks stated in her will that she wants you to be the beneficiary of her life insurance policy until Camilla comes of age.
Who the hell's Camilla?
She's your daughter.
You said there's money? What do you want?
Cereal.
Hey! You just told me you were potty trained.
So how is it? You look a little out of your depth.
I found her playing in the street. Get in here! You're not fit to be a parent.
She either goes to live with her grandparents in Providence or she goes into foster care.
I don't have anyone else.
You can't just take off for a road trip for several weeks. Ask someone else.
I'm gonna drive like a grandpa the entire trip. If it pisses you off, then yes.
You think this is the wrong decision, just say it.
She's the best thing that's ever gonna happen to you. Oh, good shot. All right, here we go, ready?
That tattoo on your back, what is it?
A Daruma doll? You make a wish, color in one eye, and color in the other eye when the wish comes true.
What'd you wish for?
Had my ear to the ground.
Stop! Hey, stop! Just let her do it. She's my daughter.
Not for long.
Even though it's completely selfish, at least you are doing the right thing for once. For her sake.
You deserve more than what I can give you.
But I love you, Daddy.
You just don't walk away from love like that.
You said that when you let people into your life, you get hurt. You don't think about what you do to other people.
You hide in that chair. You can't fix that, but you can fix this.
What's wrong, Daddy?
I'm afraid of what she'll become if she stays with me. Father and daughter. Nothing like it in the whole world.
Oh.
Love that. A good trailer.
Oh, thank you. That's actually almost shot for shot what our proof of concept was.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Thank you.
It looks like some thought went into that. I've seen bad trailers, believe me. You're like, what? That's not the movie at all. That's exactly the movie. It's great. I love that.
Oh,
Thank you.
And Barry Bostwick. Barry Bostwick.
oh,
by
and
the-
Barry's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, very nice.
So we have, if anybody has any time for a question, actually, we have one question, and I can answer this one very quickly. These inclusive stories need to reach far and wide. How can we help? Well, the best thing that you guys can do to help is to either stream the movie. It's going to be on Amazon and iTunes for $5.99 on platforms starting November 15th. That is the best way that you can show support, is to show the studios and the people that are watching that there is an audience for this. And we know that those kind of numbers translate. There is a list of theaters that we will be screening at in the coming weeks. Some of us on the cast, we're going on a bit of a road tour. We're having our red carpet premiere at Wayfarer Theater in Chicago at the invitation of Steve Sarowitz, the owner of Wayfarer Studios. Toby's going to be there. John's going to be there. Abby's going to be there. I don't know, Victoria, if you're going to come or not. I hope you and your mom can make it up there. But we'll be around the country, and just please, when you think about casting and writing stories, just think about how you can make it more inclusive. Oh, and we also have a trailer with audio descriptions, and I will email that to anybody who is blind or has low vision and needs the audio descriptions for the trailer.
Thank you to Audio Eyes. Thank you to Audio Eyes.
Thank you to Audio Eyes for that.
Yeah.
All of our screenings will have open captions, and audio descriptions are available by the Access for All app. So this is a really inclusive film. Everyone's worked so hard on it, and we need a light like this right now. We need something to unify us, and having this community has just made me so happy. Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Peter. I will help you guys move when it's time to get the light stuff.
If you need me to help with your car, wash on, scratch off, wax on, scratch off, just let me know.
Whatever favors we can do in return, we will.
Exactly.
I have one thing to do, because Coach Jackie Keller is on here. And Jackie, I'm going to allow you to talk. You're the only person I'm allowed to talk from the attendees, and I know we're going a little over, but Jackie sponsored our entire catering budget for the entire film. And wow. I want to thank, she was incredible. So Jackie, I am unmuting you, and you can say hi, you can pop in, and I just wanted to say thank you from all of us for you and NutraFit for taking care of us.
Well, I didn't expect to speak, but thank you. Thank you for making this movie. I can't wait to see it. I'll probably watch it on screen at home, and then I'll go to as many theaters as are in the local area. But it was a privilege to serve the cast and to be asked to participate at all. I mean, it was a real thrill for us, and we're there for you. And I was hoping that there might be some talk about what's next for you guys, because I know that this has been a long, hard slog, and I'm sure that you have something else planned down the road. So those of us who are big fans are waiting to hear not just how fabulously well this movie will continue to do and how much more exposure you can get, but also what we can look forward to from you guys.
Good question.
There's a slate. I mean, we've been working together on a number of projects that hopefully, they're in different states and moving forward at different rates, because you never quite know. And we live in a somewhat uncertain time in the film industry, but we've been working on an action movie together. Kelly has a script that features a young deaf girl in trying to be in a beauty pageant in Texas. I just got sent a really cute script about a kids dance studio, and that I'm talking with the writer about on Monday. And yeah, we got a lot in the works. So hopefully we can share more information and more projects with you guys sooner than later.
And hopefully the next ones won't be so hard. Hopefully.
I'm looking forward to see Peter's next movie too. That just came out.
Yes.
Jack Black.
We saw the trailer. Congratulations.
Saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. Jack kills it.
Yeah, I
But
can't
love
wait to
how
see
you
it.
incorporated dyslexia into the storyline, and it's just great. I mean, yet again, with the inclusive storytelling, Peter, it's incredible.
Yep. And I must say too, I saw Ricky Stanicki, and I know you shot that New Zealand.
Australia.
Australia. Yeah. And Peter in Australia found there were six, eight people with disabilities, not in the background, and almost all of them had speaking parts. And that was just amazing. And congratulations.
Thanks.
Searched Australia for people with disabilities, and they were in the film in speaking roles, and that was awesome.
Well, thanks again, Titus.
Peter, thanks for always being you. Besides being one of the funniest filmmakers we've seen in the last 40 years, thanks for always being you, man. I think there was Inspired Special Unit was some of the stuff you've done that it just worked, and I thought, all right, well, if he could do that, maybe I can figure out how to do it. So thank you, man. Thank you for the inspiration.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Thank you for lending your name to this film, Peter. I can't even tell you how much it means to all of us, and the doors that we have been able to knock on, because we've had someone who is really a titan of this industry come behind us and say, no, this is good enough to look at. So thank you from all of us. If you don't know how grateful we are, please know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Titus, I know you got a show tonight. You're just killing it if you haven't seen his live show, you got to see his live show.
Yeah, well, what's happened the last couple of days, it's going to be changing. It's called Doomed to Repeat. And so you can guess what it's going to be about. You can guess what it's going to be about.
Yeah,
thank you guys for having me. It's great it's really an honor to be part of it. Thank you guys.
All right, we'll be posting
Thank you all.
the webinar.
See y'all.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Peace.
Guys.